If inspiration has left you, what will get you back on your feet? When motivation fades, when emotions take a back seat, and your goals seem distant and unreachable, that is the very moment you need something deeper. Inner discipline. The first lesson will guide you through the door of self-discipline and help you discover a power that does not come from outside circumstances, but from deep within yourself. What truly holds you back from taking action is not the world out there, but the very habits you are nurturing every single day. Take a moment to pause and reflect. Are you being delayed by fear, by comfort, or by goals that are not aligned with your true values? The upcoming lessons will help you reshape your habits and turn every challenge into a stepping stone for growth and transformation. The more you simplify your life, the clearer your sense of purpose becomes. When your mind is no longer clouded by distractions and meaningless desires, you begin to see the path that is truly yours. The final lesson serves as a reminder that simplicity is not about having less, but about going deeper, living truer, and aligning more closely with your core values. In the grand stage of life, it is not words that define who we are, but actions. This is not just a poetic saying, but a powerful reminder from Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers in history. He once said that actions always speak louder and carry farther than words. And if you have ever found yourself sitting quietly, knowing exactly what needs to be done, yet still feeling unable to take that first step, then this Stoic insight is exactly what you need. It is often said that action is driven by motivation, and motivation is sparked by emotion. But what happens when that emotion fades? What do you do when the fire that once fueled you in the early hours of the morning has died down, leaving behind only cold ashes? How do you act when every ounce of inspiration feels as distant as the stars in a freezing night sky? You have likely experienced moments like that. Days when your body feels sluggish, your spirit is heavy, and your dreams feel out of reach. It is not that you have lost your desire to succeed or given up on your aspirations. It is simply that you feel hollow. There is no motivation, no internal drive to begin or continue. It is in these moments that Stoic philosophy can quietly but firmly become your greatest companion and guide. Stoicism does not wait for emotions to appear before action begins. It teaches you to act even in the absence of inspiration. It shows you that discipline, not feelings, is the foundation of progress. When the mind wants to stop, Stoicism says go. When your emotions are quiet, Stoicism calls you to move. It encourages you to root your actions in principle, not in mood. Through the practice of Stoic wisdom, you learn that the greatest victories often come not when you feel like a champion, but when you show up despite not feeling like one. You learn to detach your actions from your emotions and tie them instead to your values. And as you do that day by day, you develop something far more enduring than fleeting motivation. You develop strength of character. So if you ever find yourself waiting for that wave of inspiration to return before taking action, remember this: your life cannot wait. The clock keeps ticking. The world keeps turning. And your story is still being written, word by word, action by action. Let it be a story of someone who didn't need perfect conditions to begin, but who rose from the stillness and created momentum from within. Because when everything else is silent, it is discipline that will speak on your behalf. Stoicism does not come to reignite impulsive emotions. It comes to help you discover a deeper, more stable flame, one that cannot be swayed by the ever-changing waves of life. It is a quiet strength that already exists within you, ready to awaken if only you learn how to call it forth. Seneca, one of the most influential voices in the Stoic tradition, once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favourable." These words are not just about career paths or life planning. They are a reflection of something more profound. If you do not know where you are going or what you are living for, then every step you take will feel uncertain and powerless. But once you know your destination, once the harbour of your soul becomes visible, you begin to move with purpose. Each action gains clarity. Each choice becomes deliberate. Your journey, once clouded by confusion, now begins to align with intention. This is an invitation, a gentle yet urgent call to pause, turn inward, and rediscover your reason for being. Because without clear purpose, even the most favourable conditions will seem meaningless. But with purpose, you can steer your life through storms and shadows with steady hands and a heart guided by wisdom. This is not just about self-help or motivation. This is about building an internal compass, a system of direction, grounded not in fleeting emotions, but in timeless values. Because life will not always be calm. The sea will rise, winds will shift, people will come and go, circumstances will challenge your peace. But your foundation, if rooted in virtue and reason, will not be shaken. In this video, I will walk with you through 7 essential Stoic lessons. These are not just philosophical ideas, but practical tools for your daily life. Each lesson is designed to strengthen your ability to act not based on whims or emotional highs, but on something much more durable, the discipline of character. Through these lessons, you will learn to respond instead of react, to act out of clarity, not chaos, to move with calm certainty, even when the world around you seems unpredictable. Stoicism will not numb your feelings, but it will train you to rise above them. It will give you the tools to navigate through fear, doubt, and confusion with your eyes fixed on your deeper purpose. And in doing so, you'll begin to understand a powerful truth. Your most grounded, resilient self is not found in a moment of inspiration, but in 1,000 small choices made with discipline and clarity. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need to train your mind to act with intention. So let this be the beginning, the moment you stop chasing after feelings and start building something solid. The moment you stop drifting and start steering. The moment you embrace the wisdom of Stoicism, not just as a concept, but as a way of life. We are about to learn how to break free from stagnation, renew our mindset, and reignite the flame of purpose in our lives. But this is not about a superficial fire that flares up and quickly burns out. This is about a steady light, a lasting flame that empowers you to take action every day, not because you're inspired, but because you're committed. Before we begin, I have a small challenge for you. Commit to staying until the very end of this video. Do not miss a single lesson, because sometimes all it takes is one sentence, one moment of clarity to shift your perspective and help you move forward on your path to mastering yourself. Embracing the principles of Stoicism is not just about reading or understanding them. It is about letting them seep into every decision you make and every step you take throughout your life. Lesson 1. Train yourself. Master your mind. Among all the values that Stoic philosophers uphold, none is more highly regarded than the ability to exercise self-control. It is the foundation. It is the compass. It is the lighthouse that guides every action we take. Marcus Aurelius once said that mastering our thoughts and reactions is the true path to freedom. Not freedom that the world gives, but a deeper freedom from within, a freedom no one can take from you unless you give it away. When you discipline yourself, you are not shackling your life. You are liberating it. You are freeing yourself from invisible limitations, barriers that often come from your own habits, fears, and impulses. You are no longer acting out of random emotion. You are choosing to act with reason and intention. And that, right there, is where real power begins. But that leads us to a deeper question. How do you cultivate discipline? How do you rise above procrastination and finally start taking action? It begins with a single but powerful awareness. You are the one in control of your life. Not your past, not your fears, not the distractions around you. You. The moment you realize that, everything changes, because desires, doubts, and hesitation, all of them, can be brought under control through consistent training of the mind and will. Imagine an invisible hand resting gently on your shoulder, always there to bring you back whenever you drift off course. That is what discipline feels like. It is not a chain, it is a compass. It does not restrict you, it reminds you. It helps you remember what truly matters. To be disciplined is to ensure that your actions align with the values you claim to believe in. And to reach that level of alignment, Stoic thinkers advise us to begin with the smallest of steps. Do good, not once, but over and over, until it becomes a part of who you are. Epictetus once said that wisdom is not found in grand gestures, but in repeated good actions, that, through habit, become your nature. So start every day with reflection. Think about what you believe in. Identify goals that are rooted in your core principles. And then take small, steady actions that move you toward those ideals. This is how you build a strong will. This is how you train your mind to rise above noise and chaos, even when no one is watching, even when the world gives you no applause, even when progress feels slow. That is when discipline is forged. That is when you are truly building something great, not on emotion, but on commitment, not on convenience, but on truth. The Stoics never promised that the path would be easy, but they did promise this: the one who can master himself will never be mastered by anything else. And it all starts with the first lesson. Becoming better at self-regulation does not happen overnight. It is the result of a long sequence of small, consistent, and deliberate actions. Each action is like a single thread, and together they weave the fabric called character. That fabric is you. It is the person you are shaping every day through your choices, your habits, and your resolve. The journey of pursuing discipline in the Stoic sense is far from easy. There will be moments when you fall, when you feel discouraged, and when you have to start over from scratch. Seneca, who experienced both the heights and depths of Roman political life, understood this more deeply than anyone. He once said that we grow stronger not when we avoid our weaknesses, but when we confront them. When we walk through the fire of trials with a willing heart, we come out refined, not broken. That is what makes discipline so profound. It is not merely a tool to improve productivity or performance. It is a spiritual practice, a quiet, steadfast commitment to live in harmony with nature, to fulfill the role you were born to play, to live with integrity, to keep the promises you make to yourself, to pursue your goals not for external approval, but because they align with your inner truth. When you practice discipline, you begin to ask yourself deeper questions. How can I act with more intention? Do my actions today reflect the values I hold most dear? And each time you pause to reflect in this way, you are taking a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Through discipline, you will find the strength to walk through the tangled forests of life. Even when the path ahead is foggy or the skies above are stormy, you will not lose your direction, because the wisdom of Stoicism will always be there to guide you. It leads you toward a future you are actively shaping, not one dictated by random circumstances. You are not a passenger drifting on the tide. You are the captain, holding the wheel. Stoics believe that true freedom does not lie outside of us. It lives within, and it can only be accessed when we are willing to be rigorous with ourselves. Only when we discipline our own desires, our impulses, and our expectations do we uncover the deep freedom of the soul. Learn to master your cravings, your needs, and your reactions. In doing so, you are not repressing yourself. You are building a mind that is sturdy and capable of standing firm amidst life's storms. But to achieve this, you must grasp one foundational principle: the distinction between what you can control and what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius once reminded us that we cannot change the world, but we can always change how we respond to it. So when adversity arises, ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Is this something I can change? If the answer is no, release it. Let it go. If the answer is yes, then take action with courage and clarity. Self-awareness is the heart of discipline. When you are in tune with your thoughts and emotions, you are less likely to be swept away by automatic reactions. Take time each day to reflect on your behavior and your emotional patterns. Keep a journal. Ask yourself questions like, why did I act this way today? Did this action reflect what I truly value? And then use what you learn to make wiser decisions tomorrow. These small practices are not insignificant. They are the bricks that build a solid inner foundation. A foundation that can carry you through the unpredictable turns of life with wisdom and strength. Because discipline is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is not about control over others. It is about mastery of self. And it is not about appearing strong to the world, but being truly unshakable within. Because the very moment you begin to realize is the very moment true, change begins to take place. Now that you have absorbed the first lesson on self-discipline and personal control, let us move forward into the next essential Stoic teaching: how to overcome procrastination and take action even when you do not feel ready. From the Stoic perspective, Problems and pain are not dreadful things to run from. They are, in fact, valuable opportunities for growth and strength. Every time you voluntarily step into discomfort or face a challenge head-on, your inner strength and resilience are strengthened just a little more. That is why you are encouraged to incorporate small, manageable difficulties into your daily life, such as taking cold showers, practicing short periods of fasting, or engaging in high-intensity physical exercise. These seemingly minor habits gently train you to become more comfortable with discomfort. Over time, they toughen your spirit, preparing you to calmly face larger, more complex challenges in life. Alongside this practice of embracing discomfort, you must also gain clarity on your priorities and goals. When your objectives are well defined and you know what truly matters to you, you gain a kind of inner compass. It helps you stay focused, grounded, and consistent in your actions. When your daily choices align with your long-term vision, you become less distracted by fleeting temptations and momentary impulses. Take time to write down your long-term goals. Break them into smaller, achievable steps. Categorize your tasks based on importance and urgency. Monitor your progress regularly and stay flexible with your plan so you can make necessary adjustments without losing your direction. Of course, this path is not easy. It requires patience and unwavering determination. To maintain personal discipline, you must learn the art of persistence, the ability to hold on to your vision even when things do not unfold according to plan. Stoic thinkers repeatedly emphasize that true maturity and lasting fulfillment are only found through endurance. That is why building realistic personal development goals is so important. Small, consistent efforts will gradually nurture your patience and deepen your resilience. Every time you encounter an obstacle or setback, remind yourself, this is normal. It is part of the journey. It is not a failure. It is training. Maintain your commitment to your goals and view each difficulty as an opportunity to strengthen your will. The Stoics believed that self-mastery goes beyond controlling your emotions or becoming more self-aware. It also means embracing discomfort, setting meaningful goals, and developing long-lasting endurance. Practicing these principles every day is how you begin to train your mind to become unshakable. You do not need the world to be easy, you just need your spirit to be prepared. You are not seeking a life without adversity. You are building the strength to face adversity with calmness and courage. This is how you grow, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by showing up for yourself again and again. Not by avoiding pain, but by using it as fuel. Not by fearing discomfort, but by making it your teacher. Over time, you will find that what once made you hesitate now becomes your invitation to act, and what once seemed like resistance now becomes a doorway to a deeper version of yourself, one that is deliberate, focused, and free. Lesson 2. Stop procrastinating and stop being lazy. Procrastination and laziness are not merely minor obstacles in our lives. They are two of the greatest enemies on the path to wisdom and virtue, especially within the Stoic tradition. These habits are not simply about productivity. They represent something far deeper and more damaging. They hinder the development of our reason, our discipline, and our moral strength. Every time we choose the easy path over the right but difficult one, we bury a part of our potential in the shadows of passivity and avoidance. When we choose to live carelessly, constantly seeking comfort and avoiding challenge, we begin to drift away from the true path that was meant for us. Our goals remain distant silhouettes on the horizon, always visible but never fully reached. And yet, Stoic philosophy does not abandon us in this state. The solution to overcoming procrastination and laziness does not lie in complicated strategies or clever tricks. It lies in timeless, clear, and simple principles rooted in ancient wisdom. The Stoics teach us that the present moment is all we truly possess. It is within this very moment that we hold the power to choose what is right, even if it is difficult. Marcus Aurelius advised us to live each day as if it were our last, because time waits for no one. Epictetus, with unwavering clarity, constantly reminded us that action shapes our destiny and reveals our true character. He urged us to realize that procrastination and laziness are not just delays, they are betrayals of our highest self. Choosing them is choosing to be a lesser version of who we are meant to become. To rise above these harmful tendencies, we must begin to embrace discomfort not as an enemy, but as a wise companion. Discomfort is not meant to destroy us. It exists to shape us, to mold us, and to sharpen the very edge of our spirit. Seneca reminded us that life is short, and that nothing is more tragic than watching precious time slip through our fingers simply because we were too indifferent to act. Time is a non-renewable resource. Once spent, it never returns. The Stoics challenge us to treat each moment as sacred. To delay what is meaningful, to avoid what is difficult, is to turn our backs on the very process that could transform us. And transformation does not happen through wishful thinking, it happens through courageous action. So when you are tempted to postpone a task or to lie idle, instead of facing what must be done, pause, ask yourself, is this choice honoring my potential or denying it? In that single moment of awareness, you reclaim power. You reclaim your direction. You begin to live not by chance, but by conscious intention. Choose action, no matter who. Small. Choose movement, even when you feel stagnant. Choose responsibility over comfort. With every deliberate choice, you push back against the tide of laziness and become a little stronger, a little wiser. The Stoics never claimed that excellence would come without resistance. They knew that everything worth becoming is born through deliberate effort. And when you embrace that truth, you begin to see that you are not a prisoner of delay. You are the master of your time. Let each day be a reflection of that mastery. Let your discipline be stronger than your moods. Let your decisions reflect your deeper values, not fleeting feelings. Because in the end, who you become is not the result of what you intended to do someday. It is the result of what you chose to do today. Lesson 3. Turn good habits into lasting habits. In the garden of Stoic philosophy, where virtue and wisdom continuously blossom, cultivating good habits stands as one of the clearest signs of growth and personal transformation. These habits are not just routines or repeated actions. They are daily practices and rituals we choose intentionally. Their core, they reflect our deepest commitments to ourselves, to others, and to the kind of life we wish to live. Each positive habit is like a thread woven into the fabric of our character, forming a beautiful tapestry that steadily draws us closer to our highest potential. So what are the good habits that Stoicism teaches us to cherish and cultivate? They be our actions aligned with reason and moral clarity. Habits that strengthen the mind and spirit, such as mindfulness, practicing gratitude, showing compassion, and committing to the pursuit of knowledge. They also include the development of resilience, the ability to stand firm and calm in the face of adversity. Equally important is the devotion to justice and honesty in our daily actions. These habits are not just admirable traits, they are powerful tools that nourish our inner strength and lead us toward enduring peace. But in order for good habits to become a natural part of our daily lives, we must choose them consistently and practice them deliberately. Marcus Aurelius once said that excellence is not a single act, but the result of repeated behaviors. In few other words, greatness is habit. That is why each day should begin with a clear intention, to reflect deeply, to act kindly, to keep learning, and to take care of both your body and your mind, even in the smallest moments. Waking up with gratitude, choosing patience in a tense conversation, taking time to breathe and observe, you are shaping yourself through repeated conscious choices. Epictetus, known for his practical wisdom, reminded us that the path to virtue is not made in one giant leap. It is a long journey of small, consistent steps. We do not practice good habits in search of perfection. We practice them so that each day we can become a bit more aligned with our better selves. Real growth comes not from avoiding failure, but from getting up after each fall and choosing to continue. Seneca also offered an important reminder. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have. He urged us to protect it, to invest it wisely in activities that strengthen and refine us. When we use time with purpose and intention, our good habits stop being just ideals and become an essential part of our daily rhythm. From a Stoic point of view, building good habits is both a reflective and an active process. It is a daily commitment to shape your life around values that matter. It is the way we turn our inner potential into lived reality. And as you work to weave these habits into the fabric of your life, remember this: every new day is a fresh opportunity to craft your character according to the Stoic ideal. Good habits are not built by chance. They are built by design. They grow when you choose them again and again, especially when it is inconvenient, especially when no one is watching. And over time, those small daily decisions accumulate into a life of integrity, resilience, and peace. Let each day be an act of devotion. Let your habits reflect your highest values, and know that with every repetition, you are not just going through motions, you are creating a life that matters. Good habits do more than help us make the right choices. They guide us toward a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and filled with peace. Let these habits become the light that illuminates your path, the motivation that helps you rise each morning, and the compass that keeps you aligned with the best version of yourself. What good habits have you already built, and how have they benefited your life? Take a moment to reflect and share your valuable experiences. Stoic philosophy teaches us that developing good habits is not just beneficial. It is essential to living a life of virtue. The Stoics firmly believed that a good life is not created through occasional bursts of effort, but through the consistent practice of right actions over time. Goodness is not a single act, it is a way of life. So why is it so important to maintain good habits? And how can you begin right now? The first step is to identify the core virtues and values that matter most to you, principles like justice, courage, wisdom, and self-restraint. Then, list out the specific actions that express these qualities. For example, if you deeply value temperance, a habit such as eating mindfully and moderately can be a daily expression of that virtue. The key is to start small and stay consistent. Do not aim for unrealistic goals in the beginning. What matters most is not how impressive your habit looks from the outside, but whether you stick to it day after day. Just 5 minutes of daily commitment will be far more powerful than sporadic efforts once a week. One excellent place to begin is with the practice of gratitude. Each day, write down one thing you are thankful for. This simple act cultivates mindfulness and strengthens your ability to appreciate the present. Another helpful approach is to connect new habits to your existing routines, creating natural reminders. For instance, you might choose to practice a short moment of mindful breathing every morning right after brushing your teeth. Track your progress and reflect often. Keeping a journal or using an app can help you stay accountable and allow you to observe the positive changes gradually taking root in your life. You will begin to notice shifts not only in your behavior, but in your mindset and sense of inner peace. And above all, be patient with yourself. Building good habits is not a short sprint. It is a long and often challenging journey. There will be days when you slip or miss a step. That is not failure. It is part of the process. What matters is how quickly you return to your path. Have a plan for those moments. When you stumble, pick yourself up and start again immediately. Every small restart is a powerful act of resilience. With these practices in place, you will slowly take ownership of your life. You will become more grounded in your values and more capable of living with intention. You will find yourself moving steadily closer to the ideal that Stoic philosophy describes: not a life free of struggle, but a life marked by virtue, clarity, and strength of character. Let every habit you form be a step in the direction of your best self. Let your days be filled with actions that reflect who you are becoming. And in time, you will see that living with discipline is not a burden, it is a gift. A quiet, steady force that carries you closer to the life you were meant to live. Lesson 4. Turn challenges into opportunities. Life is truly a journey filled with trials, where each difficulty becomes a piece of a much larger, complex puzzle of experience. Every one of us walks our own unique path. Some may choose to turn back when confronted by adversity. Others, however, find the courage to face those obstacles head-on and keep going. Stoic philosophy is not merely a system of thought. It is a guiding light, helping us see challenges not as setbacks, but as powerful opportunities for growth and transformation. Think back to the story of Epictetus, who was born into slavery. His life was marked by chains, not only physical ones, but also those imposed by society, status, and circumstance. Yet, Epictetus did not resign himself to defeat. Instead, he discovered a profound sense of freedom within his own mind and spirit. In the midst of hardship, he transformed difficulty into wisdom and showed us that how we respond to life's trials determines who we ultimately become. Epictetus believed that adversity is not something to be avoided, but a stern teacher capable of revealing truths far more profound than any textbook or lecture could offer. Why? Because hidden within every difficulty lies the seed of something greater, something beneficial, waiting to be discovered and nurtured by those who are willing to look deeper. So how do we, as modern seekers of wisdom, apply this timeless insight in our lives? The next time you face a challenge, pause. Ask yourself, is this a chance to grow my patience, to expand my resilience, to deepen my empathy? Each hardship you encounter pushes you beyond your perceived limits and reveals inner resources you may have never known existed. More than that, living according to Stoic principles doesn't just benefit you. It radiates outward and influences others. When you face difficulties with grace and strength, you become a model of courage and maturity. Your ability to endure and rise becomes a beacon of inspiration for others who are striving to grow. So, do not see every struggle as a sign of failure. Instead, recognize it as a valuable opportunity to become more grounded, more insightful, and more powerful. In every challenge, there is a hidden gift waiting only for those brave enough to seek it. Use these hard times wisely, because it is in such moments that your true character is most clearly revealed. Life will always be filled with problems. Sometimes they are deeply personal. Other times they strike from nowhere, interrupting our routines, disturbing our peace, or testing our values. But from the Stoic perspective, all of these moments can be repurposed. Every problem, no matter how unwelcome, can become a stepping stone towards strength, intelligence, and resilience. It all depends on your perspective. It is not the event itself that shapes your future, but how you choose to interpret and respond to it. The Stoics teach us that we can grow, not just despite difficulty, but because of it. And when we shift our mindset, when we decide to meet hardship, not with resistance, but with curiosity and courage, we unlock a powerful truth. Adversity is not the end of the road. It is the doorway to transformation. So let the next obstacle you face be a turning point, a moment when you rise, a moment when you declare, "This too will shape me into who I am meant to be." The key lies in awareness. The Stoics firmly believed that what matters most is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. Epictetus emphasized that our attitude and mindset when facing problems can greatly influence how effectively we deal with them. By shifting the way we think, we gain the ability to view problems not as curses or punishments, but as valuable lessons that can help us grow, evolve, and become wiser individuals. Focus on what you can control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to keep our attention only on what lies within our power, our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. When we do this, we become better at regulating our inner world, which in turn leads to wiser, calmer, and more constructive responses to life's many challenges. Every problem you face can teach you something meaningful. Aristotle once said that difficulties train the mind just as physical effort strengthens the body. Seneca echoed a similar truth, that adversity, when faced willingly, becomes one of life's most profound teachers. Each obstacle holds within it the potential to make you stronger, more insightful, and more resilient if you are willing to meet it with courage and an open mind. Another essential Stoic principle is acceptance. This does not mean giving up or surrendering. It means having the strength to face reality as it is, especially the parts you cannot change. Acceptance allows you to conserve energy, reduce emotional tension, and direct your focus toward areas where you still have influence. This clarity of mind creates space for creative and thoughtful action. It is equally important to search for purpose and meaning behind every trial. As Viktor Frankl once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." When you find a deeper reason for enduring a challenge, whether it is personal growth, service to others, or the pursuit of virtue, you gain access to a reserve of strength and determination that can carry you through the most difficult time. Problems are inevitable. They are woven into the very fabric of life. But they do not have to be sources of despair. Through the lens of Stoic wisdom, problems become opportunities' doorways through which we step into new levels of strength and understanding. You will not always be able to choose your circumstances, but you will always be able to choose your response. And that response is everything. It is in those very moments of challenge that your true self is revealed, not in ease or comfort, but in adversity, in stillness, and in resolve. By applying Stoic thinking to everyday life, you empower yourself to transform resistance into resilience. You stop seeing setbacks as threats and start seeing them as teachers. You begin to move with greater clarity, purpose, and wisdom. You no longer wait for life to be easy. You train yourself to be strong. And little by little, as you practice this mindset, you will find that you are not just enduring life's challenges. You are mastering them. You are learning. You are becoming. Lesson 5. Start with small steps. It is a wonder how the greatest journeys in life often begin with a single, humble step. Stoic philosophy teaches us that beginning with something small is not just a comforting statement. It is a practical strategy, one that helps us break down what seems impossible into manageable, actionable parts. Take, for example, the life of Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. His philosophical journey did not begin with grand proclamations or dramatic changes. It started with something simple, stepping into a bookshop. There, he discovered the writings of Socrates, which would ignite a lifelong pursuit of wisdom and ultimately lead to the development of a philosophical school that would shape generations. That initial step, though seemingly small, laid the solid foundation for Stoicism's enduring impact. What is the true significance of starting small? It is the recognition that all great progress, no matter how extraordinary, begins with modest actions. You do not need to see the entire path to take the first step. Each small move forward is a declaration of your willingness to keep going, even when the destination remains distant. This approach reflects a core Stoic virtue: continuous progress. It reminds us that every small act contributes to a larger outcome. It also provides an effective way to combat procrastination and overwhelm by transforming what feels unattainable into something that feels doable. When we narrow our focus to the step right in front of us, we give ourselves the chance to succeed one action at a time. And each small success builds momentum for the next. This is not just a philosophical idea, it is a highly practical life principle. Rather than being paralyzed by massive goals, concentrate on what you can accomplish right now. If your dreams feel too far away to reach, bring your attention back to the present and ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take right now? Embrace this lesson with an open heart. Do not let the size of your vision discourage you. Let the simplicity of beginning inspire and empower you. Every small step you take becomes the foundation for your future self. It becomes a bold declaration of your capability, your commitment, and your alignment with the Stoic path. When you find yourself facing a long and uncertain journey, remember this truth. The real power lies in your decision to begin. Each small step is not just a motion forward, it is a celebration. It is a confident expression of your intention to grow, to act, and to persevere. Sometimes the step does not need to be big. It simply needs to be taken. The size of the action matters far less than the resolve behind it. What matters most is that you keep stepping again and again, refusing to give up. This persistence, this steady rhythm of small actions, is what transforms your potential into progress and your discipline into destiny. Lesson 6. Developing a purpose through virtue. This is a profound lesson, one that touches on a question humanity has wrestled with for centuries. How can we truly discover the reason for our existence? Stoic philosophy offers an answer that is neither shallow nor easy, but one that is deeply practical and grounded in truth. The Stoics teach us that the meaning of life is not found in external achievements or fleeting pleasures. It is found in virtue. Virtue is the foundation that connects us with our highest nature as human beings and gives birth to a clear and enduring sense of purpose. Look to the life of Cato the Younger, one of the most iconic figures in Stoic history. Cato was not only a respected statesman, but also a living embodiment of Stoic virtue, a man who lived with unwavering dedication to integrity and justice. In a time when the Roman Republic was unraveling, surrounded by corruption and opportunism, Cato stood firm. He refused to compromise his principles. His life became a powerful testament to the Stoic belief that purpose is found not in what you gain, but in how you live. Cato's life was not about chasing popularity or avoiding discomfort. His story reads like a mosaic of principled decisions, each rooted in Stoic ideals. To him, virtue was not just a moral trait, it was the very structure of his purpose. It was the reason he acted with courage, even in darkness. Through his example, we see that true meaning is not born from temporary rewards or superficial praise, but from a commitment to timeless and noble values. This is why each of us must ask ourselves the deeper questions. Are my actions shaping the person I truly want to become? Am I living in harmony with the values I claim to believe in? When we dare to look inward with honesty, we begin to uncover a purpose that is not dictated by trends or opinions, but one that rises from the quiet depth of our inner life. When your purpose is built on virtue, your motivation shifts entirely. Life is no longer just a race to achieve external success, to gather wealth or earn recognition. Instead, it becomes a journey of personal alignment, a mission to live truthfully, to uplift others, and to become the kind of person who makes the world better by the way they choose to live. This shift in perspective does something remarkable. It fortifies your spirit. It gives you a kind of resilience that does not fade when times are hard. When your foundation is virtue, you have something unshakable to stand on. You do not drift aimlessly. You move with intention. You endure with purpose, and this purpose gives your life meaning even in moments of silence, even when no one sees your efforts. Because virtue does not seek applause. It seeks truth, and in that truth you will find strength. So let this be your quiet revolution, not chasing after what fades, but anchoring your life in what lasts. Let your actions flow from your core values. Let your decisions echo your deepest beliefs. Because in doing so, you are not just living. You are building a life of substance. You are becoming someone whose existence carries meaning not just for yourself, but for others. This is the gift of Stoic virtue. It transforms the ordinary into the purposeful. It turns everyday actions into sacred expressions of a life well lived. The story of Cato reinforces this truth vividly. In moments of difficulty that seemed insurmountable, it was not comfort or the promise of success that guided his actions, it was virtue, and a steady, unwavering sense of purpose. He did not act out of concern for winning or fear of failure. He acted from a deep inner commitment to justice and what was right. This is one of the most precious lessons Stoic philosophy gives us. Let virtue be the lamp that illuminates your path, even in the smallest of daily choices. To live with purpose, according to the Stoics, means consistently choosing actions that embody your devotion to virtue. This is not a burden, nor is it a duty in the traditional sense. It is a powerful source of inspiration. These actions become guiding lights in your life, distilled expressions of honesty, courage, and wisdom. When we act not out of mere obligation, from a deep inner conviction, life becomes not only more meaningful, it becomes profoundly fulfilling. We must remind ourselves of this message and strive every day to align our life goals with our deepest virtues. When we do this, a powerful inner drive emerges, enabling us to take action with clarity and confidence. Life then becomes a journey of meaning, wholeness, and peace. Even more importantly, a purpose built on virtue does not stop with the individual, it spreads. When each of us lives in alignment with noble values, we create ripple effects in our families, workplaces, and communities. Through small yet meaningful actions, we become catalysts of positive and lasting change. Seen from a broader perspective, this lesson reminds us that virtue is the true path to inner freedom. When we live by virtue, we are no longer chained to fleeting desires or enslaved by external validation. We live from a place of strength, rooted in clarity and peace. So let the story and philosophy of Cato inspire you on your own journey of purpose. Each day, each small act of integrity, kindness, or courage is a step toward a meaningful life. A life shaped not by chance, but by the virtues you uphold. One of the most foundational principles in Stoicism that we must never forget is this: The meaning of life is discovered through doing good. The Stoics believed that to live well, to live with virtue, is the path to true happiness and fulfillment. In their view, virtue means living in harmony with nature and with reason. This harmony is expressed through four cardinal qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When you anchor your life's purpose to these values, you gain the strength and insight to navigate any challenge. Every moment becomes significant. Every action becomes sacred, because you are living in alignment with your highest nature. Let your actions reflect these virtues. Let your days be shaped not by what you want to consume or achieve, but by what you're committed to become. And in this becoming, you will find joy. Not the shallow joy of success or praise, the deep joy of living truthfully, of becoming exactly who you were meant to be. Let us now explore more deeply the four most essential virtues in Stoic philosophy, the very pillars upon which a meaningful and purposeful life is built. Wisdom. Never stop learning or expanding your understanding. Wisdom means using reason and knowledge to make thoughtful, balanced decisions. It empowers you to navigate life's challenges with clarity and discernment, rather than confusion or impulse. Courage. Stand strong in the face of adversity and fear. Even when the road ahead is difficult, courage gives you the strength to hold your ground, to stand for what is right, and to press forward without hesitation or retreat. Justice. Treat others with fairness, dignity, and respect. Justice is not just about legal systems, it is about how you live, how you contribute to your community, and how you ensure that your presence leaves a positive impact on the world around you. Temperance. Learn to govern yourself with balance and moderation. In every area of life, whether in desire, ambition, emotion, or consumption, temperance helps you find harmony. It is the key to lasting stability and peace. Take time to reflect deeply on what you truly value. Clarifying your core principles will prevent you from getting lost in the noise and distractions of everyday life. Ask yourself, what values form the foundation of who I am? And do these values align with Stoic ideals? When you engage regularly in this kind of reflection, you stay anchored. Your path becomes clearer, and your decisions gain consistency and direction. Next, commit to setting meaningful goals. Goals that are not just personal aspirations, but reflections of the four cardinal virtues. Let your aims be grounded in temperance, wisdom, courage, and justice. Ensure that your goals are not only fulfilling for you, but also beneficial to others. This is how you build a life that is both purposeful and impactful. Each day, strive to improve yourself, even in the smallest of ways. Growth does not have to be dramatic. It must only be consistent. Create habits that reflect your commitment to living well. You might begin by journaling to reflect on lessons learned, practicing meditation to strengthen mindfulness, or reading philosophy to enrich your understanding and expand your perspective. Never forget that challenges are not roadblocks. They are invitations. Every obstacle is a chance to exercise your virtue, to show patience, to apply reason, to act with fairness, and to remain grounded. With this mindset, every difficulty becomes a lesson, and each lesson brings you closer to becoming the kind of person you aspire to be. The Stoic vision of a fulfilled life is inseparable from the development of a purpose rooted in virtue. So, commit to cultivating these four foundational virtues. Reflect deeply on your values. Set noble goals. Persevere in your daily efforts to grow. And above all, view each hardship as a sacred opportunity to refine your character. When you do this, you begin to build a clear, steady sense of purpose. Your life stops merely passing by. It begins to shine with true meaning and lasting value. Lesson 7. Simplifying your life. In an increasingly noisy, busy, and distracting world, simplifying your life might seem almost impossible. Yet, Stoic philosophy emphasizes that adopting a minimalist and simplified lifestyle not only lightens your burden, but also fosters deeper focus, peace, and genuine satisfaction. Removing unnecessary elements creates room for things that truly matter in life. This involves prioritizing quality over quantity and learning to find contentment with what you already have, rather than continuously chasing newer or greater things. Begin by decluttering your physical space. Be courageous in getting rid of items that no longer serve a purpose or that you no longer use. Clearing out unnecessary belongings does more than make your living space neat and orderly. It brings about a profound sense of relief and tranquility, both mentally and physically. A clean, orderly environment fosters a sense of peace and clarity, making it easier for you to concentrate and enhance productivity. Next, optimize your time. Clearly identify what truly matters in your life. Focus your attention and energy on tasks and people who genuinely bring joy and deep fulfillment. Resist the urge to agree hastily to things that do not align with your ideals or life goals, as these will only drain your valuable time and energy unnecessarily. Establishing a consistent daily routine is also an effective way to simplify your life. A stable schedule allows better control over your time, reducing unnecessary pressure and stress. By structuring your day, you create predictability, allowing your mind to be calm and focused. Reducing distractions from modern technology is equally essential. Limit your screen time, social media usage, email checks, and other distractions. Use technology intentionally and keep only applications and tools that genuinely enhance your quality of life. This embodies the spirit of digital minimalism, removing excess and focusing solely on what is truly essential. Simplifying your financial life is also vital. Strive to reduce debt, live within your means, and avoid taking on additional financial burdens. Manage your expenditures by budgeting and monitoring your spending closely, giving you better financial control, reducing stress, and alleviating anxiety. Furthermore, prioritize investing in experiences rather than material possessions. Instead of accumulating more belongings, dedicate your resources and time to memorable experiences. These experiences will leave lasting impressions and enrich your life significantly, creating deeper emotional connections and meaningful memories. Another crucial aspect is learning to accept the present and practicing mindfulness. Set aside moments for activities that enhance your mindfulness, such as yoga, meditation, or simply spending quiet moments in nature. Do not let your mind wander into past regrets or future anxieties. Instead, embrace the fullness of the present moment. Enjoy the small, simple pleasures surrounding you and cultivate gratitude for every precious second of your life. Implement practical techniques such as adopting a capsule wardrobe, which involves maintaining a minimal selection of versatile, essential clothing items. This approach simplifies your daily choices, reducing decision fatigue and helping you start your day more effortlessly. Meal planning is another valuable strategy. Organizing your weekly meals ahead of time saves both money and stress, while also helping you maintain a healthier lifestyle and avoid impulsive shopping. Consider dedicating weekends or specific times to digital detoxes, disconnecting periodically from technological devices allows you to reconnect more deeply with yourself, loved ones, and nature. These intervals of technology-free time refresh your mind and spirit, fostering clarity and emotional balance. Ultimately, the most important message is clear. Simplifying your life does not restrict your possibilities. It enhances them. By intentionally eliminating distractions and unnecessary complexities, you make space for genuine peace, meaningful relationships, and true contentment. Embrace simplicity and witness profound transformations in your overall well-being and life satisfaction. Simplifying your life does not mean giving up everything. Rather, it involves making intelligent choices that bring greater meaning, less stress, and more profound peace into your life. Why do Stoics emphasize simplicity? Simplicity not only helps declutter your physical space, but also serves as an invitation to simplify your soul, eliminating unnecessary desires and focusing on what truly matters. In such simplicity, we discover a profound truth. Simplicity is the pinnacle of complexity. Marcus Aurelius, the famous Roman emperor, despite his immense power and wealth, maintained the virtue of simplicity. He focused on duty, simplicity, and inner peace, considering them true strengths, surpassing external possessions. His mindset illustrates that clarity and wisdom reside within simplicity. A life cluttered with unnecessary things causes us to lose sight of our true goals. When we dare to discard excesses, we can focus more clearly on values aligned with our authentic selves, finding clarity in our life's purpose, and inspiring purposeful, meaningful actions. Remember, simplifying life isn't about giving things up, but renewing your life. Clearing away the unnecessary to preserve what is precious allows you to live a more focused, peaceful, and fulfilling life. In a simplified life, every action gains greater strength because it is carried out with mindfulness and clear intention. The true nature of our humanity, expressed through our actions and choices, reveals our identity and desire to live virtuously in every moment. Thus, simplicity is not merely about owning fewer possessions, but creating an environment, both internal and external, that nurtures the most righteous behaviors. This represents a life where distractions are minimized, and every choice you make is wise and deeply meaningful. Each action you take has its own purpose and intrinsic value. Let Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher-emperor, inspire you, and follow the Stoics' advice by simplifying your life. By doing so, you build a life based not on chaotic complexity, but clear simplicity. Consequently, your life will harmonize deeply with Stoic ideals, filled with profound meaning and purpose. We have just completed an important journey together, exploring 7 Stoic lessons designed to help us act more effectively in life. These lessons, distilled from ancient wisdom, serve as guiding beacons, illuminating our path toward a purposeful, action-oriented, and fulfilling life. Each lesson, from self-discipline and embracing challenges to simplifying our lives, is a significant step forward in gaining better self-control and building a better world for ourselves. It is my sincere hope, dear friends, that you will not merely ponder these lessons, but actively incorporate them into your daily lives. This practical application is the key to achieving genuine happiness, peace, and sustained personal growth. Stoicism is more than just an ancient philosophy. It is a practical guide leading us to a meaningful, peaceful, and fulfilling life. Through the 7 lessons we've shared, it becomes clear that the journey toward mastering oneself, transforming challenges into opportunities, cultivating virtues, and embracing simplicity is indeed challenging. But it remains the most direct path toward wisdom and true happiness. Every day, we have the power to make choices based on reason, perseverance, and courage. We can learn to simplify our lives, focus on the essential, and find profound purpose by nurturing our virtues. This way of living represents not just a lifestyle, but also a commitment to ourselves and to the world, promising not to let difficulties or complexities obscure our true essence. Remember, strength lies in every small choice and action we undertake daily. The Stoic journey is one of continual progress, not perfection, but sustainable improvement. As you remain steadfast on this path, you will not only master yourself, but also positively influence those around you, becoming a model for others. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Stoicism. May these insights empower and inspire you to lead a life full of meaning, peace, and personal development. Start today, as every moment presents an opportunity for you to become the best version of yourself.